Sex in advertising has been a staple for as long as advertising itself has existed. From subtle hints to overt displays, sexual imagery has evolved, reflecting and shaping societal attitudes. This video explores how sex appeal has grabbed consumer attention and influenced societal views on gender and sexuality. The early 1900s saw the subtle beginnings of sexual imagery in advertising. Marketers tested the waters with slightly suggestive poses and intimate product hints. The 1920s and 1930s brought a more relaxed social atmosphere, reflected in advertising trends. Products from cigarettes to clothing employed sexual undertones to increase desirability. This period set the groundwork for the explosive growth of sexual imagery in later decades. The 1950s and 1960s are remembered as a golden age of advertising. The Marlboro Man epitomized rugged masculinity, appealing to both women and men. Pin-up girls, used during World War II, made their way into mainstream advertising post-war. Brands like Coca-Cola featured attractive women in provocative poses to sell products. Celebrity endorsements added allure, enhancing the sexual undertones of advertisements. This era solidified sex appeal as a powerful tool in advertising. The 1980s and 1990s marked a bold transformation in the use of sex in advertising. This era saw a significant shift in how brands approached their marketing strategies, pushing boundaries and challenging societal norms. Brands like Calvin Klein and Victoria's Secret brought a new level of explicitness. They were pioneers in using provocative imagery to capture attention and drive sales, setting new standards in the advertising world. Calvin Klein's ads often featured young models in minimal clothing, igniting controversy. These ads were not just about selling products, they were about creating a brand image that was edgy, youthful, and rebellious. Victoria's Secret transformed lingerie advertising into a mainstream spectacle. Their fashion shows and advertisements became cultural events, drawing massive media attention and changing the way lingerie was perceived. Music channels like MTV offered advertisers a new platform to reach a younger audience. The integration of music and advertising created a dynamic and engaging way to connect with viewers, making ads more memorable. These decades were characterized by a more aggressive approach to using sex in advertising. This bold strategy was not without its critics, but it undeniably left a lasting impact on the industry, influencing how brands communicate with their audiences even today. The turn of the millennium ushered in a new era of explicit advertising. Social media revolutionized brand engagement, leading to more blatant sexual imagery. Brands like Carl's Jr. and American Apparel became infamous for risque online campaigns. Influencer marketing incorporated sexual elements to garner attention and engagement. Critics argue that pervasive sexual imagery objectifies individuals and sets unrealistic body standards. Some brands are rethinking their approach, considering more responsible advertising strategies. The use of sex in advertising has never been without its critics. Over the years, this issue has sparked numerous protests and debates, with many people voicing their concerns about the ethical implications of such marketing strategies. The primary concern is the objectification of bodies, particularly women's. Advertisements often portray women in ways that reduce them to mere objects, focusing solely on their physical attributes rather than their abilities or personalities. This not only perpetuates harmful stereotypes, but also affects the self-esteem and body image of viewers. Critics argue that such ads reinforce outdated gender roles and prioritize physical appearance. By consistently depicting women in submissive or decorative roles, these advertisements send a message that a woman's value is tied to her looks, rather than her intelligence or achievements. This can have long-lasting effects on societal perceptions and individual aspirations. There is significant concern about the sexualization of young people in ads. When young individuals are portrayed in a sexualized manner, it can lead to unrealistic expectations and pressures, impacting their mental health and development. Digital media has made it easier for sexualized ads to reach children and teenagers. With the rise of social media platforms and online advertising, young audiences are more exposed than ever to content that may not be appropriate for their age, raising questions about the responsibility of advertisers and the need for stricter regulations. The ongoing debates highlight the need for a more balanced and responsible approach to advertising. Advocates for change call for ads that promote positive body image, respect for all genders, and age-appropriate content. By adopting more ethical advertising practices, the industry can contribute to a healthier and more inclusive society. In contrast to the prevalent use of sex in advertising, which often objectifies and sets unrealistic standards, some campaigns challenge traditional beauty standards by promoting authenticity and inclusivity. Dove's Real Beauty campaign, launched in the early 2000s, marked a significant shift in the advertising landscape. It featured women of various ages, sizes, and ethnic backgrounds, celebrating diversity in a way that was rarely seen before. This initiative sought to broaden the definition of beauty and boost self-confidence among women, challenging the narrow ideals perpetuated by the media. By using real people and highlighting their personal stories, Dove aimed to create a more relatable and genuine connection with their audience. Dove created a powerful narrative that resonated with many, emphasizing that beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. The success of the Real Beauty campaign has inspired other brands to adopt similar strategies, recognizing the value of authenticity and inclusivity in their messaging. Dove's initiative challenges the industry to consider the impact of their messages and encourages positive self-image. It serves as a reminder that advertising can be a force for good, promoting self-acceptance and diversity. Women from all walks of life shared their stories, creating a community of support and empowerment. The campaign's global reach demonstrated the universal desire for more inclusive representations of beauty. The lasting impact of Dove's Real Beauty campaign continues to influence the advertising industry, pushing for more realistic and diverse portrayals of beauty. More brands are now embracing diversity, understanding that true beauty lies in authenticity and individuality. This positive change in media representation helps to foster a healthier self-image among consumers, particularly young women and girls. Dove's ongoing commitment to real beauty and self-esteem initiatives highlights the importance of responsible advertising. As we look to the future, the hope is that more companies will follow Dove's lead, creating a more inclusive and empowering advertising landscape for all. The future of sex in advertising remains a contentious issue. Consumers are demanding more from brands than just provocative content. The rise of digital media offers new opportunities and challenges for advertisers. Advertisers must navigate cultural differences in perceptions of sexuality. The future will likely involve a balance between using sex appeal and maintaining ethical standards. The intersection of sex and advertising will continue to be a topic of fascination and debate.